I am Laura Jewell-Fear, and I am my business is SAVE with Jewell, and I help people just like you. That's my favourite thing to do. So I'm just going to pop you over there so I can move my slides. Is that okay for everyone? You can see slides. Yes, wonderful. So what I thought I'd do today is not what you know me for in my business per se, but we spend a lot of time working on ourselves in our businesses. And sometimes it's nice to have a little reminder of how to look after yourself. Because we are busy, aren't we, as business owners? We chose this awesome life with our own sort of, plans and goals, which is wonderful. However, sometimes that can be a bit tiring and a bit overwhelming. So I'm just here to remind you that you are the most important person in your life, especially the mums in the room. We always think that our little people are the most important people in our life, and of course they are very important. But you can't help them unless you are the best version of you. So your business, everything that's more important. You are the most important thing, more important than anything. So this is just some reminders of, as I'm sure many of you use a lot of these techniques and tricks and things, but just some reminders of how not to avoid burnout, how to avoid burnout, not get really tired and not need a full week lie down meal. So let's do the next slide. So obviously, I mentioned this already. We talk about this stuff a lot in our team. I think because sometimes it's hard to say no, isn't it? It's hard to say no, and especially when it's your business and it's the money that is coming in, yourself. It is hard to have those boundaries. So here's some friendly reminders from me and my team. There they are, the smiley, happy nutters. So prioritise self-care, easier said than done. But what helps, and I've got a Fitbit, I don't know if you guys have got anything similar, it pokes me and says, move. So if you haven't got something like that, an alarm in the phone, that would help. Change your environment, pop outside into the garden, listen to the birds. That's what I like to do. You might, I don't know, watch some TikTok if you like. But another thing that really, really helps is adequate sleep. This was probably one of the take-home messages from my personal trainer that I really hated at the time, because I had a small baby and I couldn't get any more sleep if I tried, because she just didn't sleep. However, I know that my cognitive functioning then, I'm not even sure I was safe to drive a car. I wasn't emotionally regulated. And so, yeah, have a good read of this book if you're interested in that side of things. Why We Sleep. You'll never miss your 8 hours ever again. It's really important. So, next. Setting realistic goals. I've got a little picture of Rome there. That old adage of, Rome isn't built in a day. Reminding yourself of your short-term and your long-term goals, because sometimes our long-term goals are so massive that we just go hell for leather, burn out, have to have 2 weeks off, hell for leather, burn out. And it's easier if you sort of break it down into smaller steps. And Sean and I were talking about this week, daily time management. So when you've got this humongous list of things, humongous list of clients that perhaps you need to get to, let's label them. Let's work out who's the most important, who's going to shout the loudest, maybe. If you've got some mean clients, I hope you haven't. But yeah, doing the hard stuff first, and labelling them in order. And unless anything massively important comes in, putting it in the right place. Like I say, just a nice little reminder. I'm sure most of you do these anyway. But sometimes don't we stop the things that work? I do that all the time. So, oh yeah, I was really good at that. Oh, why did I stop doing that? So nice little reminders for you. So, and being realistic about what can be accomplished and what you can accomplish as well. Because I think sometimes we compare ourselves to other people, and maybe going back to mums, we can compare ourselves to ourselves 10 years ago when we didn't have children. That's miserable. Comparing yourself to other mums, again, could be miserable, couldn't it? So just swimming in your own lane and knowing your ratios. So if you're being realistic, you know, let's talk about Kelly, for example. You know, if she wants to help 20 businesses, she knows she's not going to just speak to 20 businesses. She's going to speak to however many she knows in her ratios what that means. So realistic is really helpful when you're not sort of burning yourself out. So personal development. This one's a fun one. Me and Tina love this one, and I think a few of you other guys do too. It's a bit of a buzzword, but really just knowing that my little saying at the bottom, I don't know what I don't know. So just, you know, making sure that you put a tiny bit of time aside. It doesn't have to be a lot, just to extend your knowledge and, you know, extend your mind can help. You know, with, I've lost my wording. I've swam around the bowl a little bit. Expanding your skills and your knowledge. There we go. Back in the ring. So this one's a tough one, especially if you're just solo. But empowering others to help you and asking for help. I'll tell you something that I have been doing that has helped with our group, and you could do this with other business owners, is asking what they want to hear from me. Because sometimes you feel like you're just posting stuff. You don't know whether it's landing, you don't know if it's useful, and asking people what do they want to hear. What if you were looking for somebody like me, what do you want to hear? So, you know, that's the sort of delegation you can do for free. You don't have to necessarily pay somebody. My mum used to help with my accounts when I started, but I do recommend a Kelly. She's good too. My mum's not open for any extra work. I like Rachel's saying, you know, Rachel Chiv, she says, if you say yes to something, what are you saying no to? Which is a good way of sort of thinking. When you get that gut instinct that you say yes, but then you think, oh, and you know it's there, think, what am I saying no to? You know, am I saying no to having time for this, that, and the other? Am I giving up my admin time and I've got nowhere else to put it? You know. So what if you say yes, what you say no to? I like that one. Stole it from Rachel. Circle of trust. We all know this. The first thing a therapist will ask you is, have you got any friends and family? What they're asking is, are the people around you assholes? And that might be why you're there. Sorry, I dropped a little naughty word out. But there we go. Build a support system. If you haven't got one, find one. I do remember a few years ago, you know, not having a new baby and thinking, I don't know anybody here, and I had to work really hard to go and put myself out there, and that's hard sometimes. But you know, we've got our family here, our 1N family, friends, and you know, just connecting with like-minded business owners. You can do that on LinkedIn. You can do anything. We all want to help each other mostly, because that's of an advantage to everybody. And sharing your challenges with your friends and family. And celebrate with them as well, because it's a really important reminder that is, you know, sometimes we do our moan, you know, to whoever, but we don't always go, yes, I did it. So just a little reminder to celebrate daily wins if you can. It's helpful. So what else can I tell you? Let's have a little look. Oh, this one I'm bad at. So this one's what mums do, isn't it? As I say, as I do. But yes, regular physical activity. We all know that that's helpful to our mental health. Moving on your little breaks from work is good. I have found myself lately needing to force myself to do that. Putting it in your diary and making a time slot helps. Or an alarm on your phone, that helps too. And my PT, bless him, Jake, he says, if you don't feel like it, do it anyway and give it 50%, which I think is a good, because by the time you've kind of given 50%, you know, if you're tired or whatever, you've still done some activity and still giving yourself some endorphins and what have you. So that's a little tip from him. Too much. I've just put this in here because you sat here thinking this is overwhelming, I'm stressed, and you need extra help. It's really, really important to seek it. That's not a weakness. Counselling and therapy is a safe place if that's what you need. And I've just popped that there because, of course, we're recording this, so someone on YouTube might find it too. I just want them to know that, you know, we don't talk about this stuff enough, and it's really important. And I put the bear there for some of you that already know me. The bear comes up every now and again in my little slides, and that's just a reminder that your amygdala, the little tiny bit in your brain, is protecting you from whatever it thinks is a problem. And sometimes it's not always a problem. Keith knows a lot about this as well. So yeah, it's I just wanted to pop those in there, only because this is being recorded and I wouldn't want to think anyone thought they could help themselves if they needed some extra help. So pop those in there for you. Right, tiny bit left, I think. I'm not actually paid attention to time whatsoever. However, if your worries are financial, you know, that's what I'm here for. I can help making the nation's money go further. Ben alluded to earlier, he's enjoying his cashback card. I do too, so he's had 25 quid back this month, and I'm on 35 quid at Christmas, so we're spending lots. Just the perk of being a customer, but it's something that really works for lots of our customers. Again, referrals, we pay for people to refer. The happy customers breed happy customers. Another way of reducing people's bills down, and sharing the love. And of course, you're not just sharing any old thing, you're sharing the smiley happy face of the boring old bills with award-winning services behind us. So the other thing we do, which I alluded to earlier, was help people earn their way out of the cost of living crisis. I don't want to give, you know, too much on this because this is a very personal thing to people. There's some of my team there, some of my Scotland massive, and one of my Midlands crew. But yeah, we help people save, but we also help people earn. And there is a meaningful earning there for people that want to help people. I've got a favourite thing from my book there on the bottom right. It's boy, the dog, the horse and the mole, or fox, or I don't know, something like that. You'll know it. And it says, one day you'll look back and realise how hard it was and just how well you did, which is a nice little thing to remind yourself at the start of a business and midway. I'm almost at the end now. That's me and my little crazy crew there. So yeah, just make sure you have a little check in with yourself every now and again if you can. It really helps to do that, especially when you're running a busy business. Maybe if you've got other people that are demanding your time, just make sure your worst enemy is not living between your ears. So there you are. That's me. That's my links. And friendly face with your boring old bills. Have you got any questions? I'm going to stop screen sharing. She says. I might stop screen sharing. I might not. Oh, bear with me, Marv. I might get you to stop screen sharing. Thank you. There we go. Right. Any questions for me?
One question, Laura. And then we've got time for one more if anyone does have one. If somebody's just starting on their personal development journey and wants to sort of start off with a book that's kind of useful, but kind of, you know, good for, let's say, a beginner or someone that's not sort of dipped their toe before, what would be one of your first recommendations?
Oh, it's an old one. It's a classic one. I've listened to it a lot. How to Win Friends and Influence People. It could actually these days be called How Not to Be a Dick. And I think that helps in life, in business, in everything. You think about everyone else and how they're feeling. So yeah.
Fantastic. And anybody? Is that Dale Carnegie, by the way? That's Dale Carnegie.
Oh yes, yes it is. Yeah.
Keith.
Yeah, one quick question, might not be quick to answer. You've given us some brilliant tips there for self-care and progress and all these sorts of things. Any journey we do, we start with the first step. So out of all of those, which would be the one that we should start with first? The one most important piece.
I would say I have something called a Wheel of Life. You can Google that. Look at it, mark yourself on it, and decide where your weakest point is, and start with that, even if it's not your biggest priority. Because actually, you know, you can't. If you're wonky in one area, even the good areas are going to be sort of brought back, aren't they? So I'd say start at your weakest point, and that might not always be the point that you want to start at. Mine would be health, and it's not fun, is it? So that's why I don't do it. But there you are. Yeah, always start at the weakest point. Have a little evaluate of where you're at.